How would you like to be remembered?
Oh my gosh. As somebody who was a good mom, a good wife, and who actually supported like care integration.
Your happiest or most cherished memory?
Actually, my kids' birthdays.
Oh.
And my husband and I, like years and years ago, went on this like amazing camping trip. We drove from Texas to California, and we hit like every major national park along the way. And we were camping out of the back of his brand new Volvo. It was ridiculous, but yeah, like being out in the woods, like, or being out in nature, camping is pretty fun.
One leader you admire and why?
Okay, I'll throw out Bob Bell. He's my former CEO at University Health Network, former Deputy Minister of Health, but more importantly, he's like a really, really caring guy. And I remember being in his office, I was giving him an update on something, and he was like, Lyd, I can tell you're not 100% with me right now. Is there something going on? And I was like, actually, my daughter's not well. She's at home. She's really sick. I really need to get out of here. And he like wanted to like come over and do a house visit. I mean, he's that kind of guy, right? So he's not only like an amazing leader, but he's just such a compassionate person. And I just remember thinking like those two things don't always come in the same package, you know?
What advice would you give your 18-year-old self?
You know, have self-confidence. Self-confidence. It's not an easy thing to tell yourself, but more often than not, and it comes back to being prepared. Like if you know your stuff, you've done your homework, your confidence will kind of normally like become more self-confident, or improve. But back when I was 18, I was not always feeling that way. So,
your biggest failure?
Oh my biggest failure. Oh my gosh. I got fired from my first job. I won't say what it was, but I got fired from my first job, and the person told me that I wasn't adding enough, like meaning we were all in this meeting, I wasn't talking, I was like trying really hard to listen. And they said, you know, it just comes, you don't have the presence, like you don't have the presence. And this was like early on in my career. And I just remember from that experience, first of all, I was heartbroken just to be fired, but like it was horrible. But the lessons that I learned from that are like, again, be prepared, know your stuff, don't be afraid to speak up. You don't have to talk all the time, but speak up when it's appropriate, and make sure that if you're in a room, you want people to know you're there and why. Yeah, I never wish that on anybody, but I really had to pull myself up by my bootstraps after that.
What a great lesson, and how far you've come since then.
Oh, it was brutal. It was brutal back then.
Your wildest aspiration?
That we will have fully integrated healthcare in Ontario by 2030.
Oh! And very last question, Lydia. If you only had one message that you could share with the world, what would that message be?
Put yourself in another person's shoes before you act.